and I'm going to finally review Camp Rock 3 Come Hell or High Water. I don't know if you've listened to a couple of my videos recently. The quality of the sound has not been great. All of my tech support opportunities to try to fix the sound with the videos have not come to fruition. So we're going to review Camp Rock 3 live, which is exciting at this hour of the morning. Uh, so yes, it's been 18 years since the first Camp Rock film, and I don't know who this is for because Jonas and Demi are barely in it. But there's also Sherry Cola for your wonderful enjoyment. Milo Manheim pops up here. The film sadly does not have audio description, which believe me will be a big part of this, which one of the reasons why I wanted to review the film. But let's talk about the film for a second. So basically, Connect 3, back in my day, we had to Connect 4. Uh, anyway, if you got that and you thought it was funny, subscribe. If you did not think it was funny, then be gentle. So, they want to use Final Jam at Camp Rock to find their new opening act. Great. So this basically becomes a competition reality series where everybody is trying not to get eliminated so they can make it to the final jam, because I guess not everybody gets to perform in the final jam. It's very selective. It's a very selective group of kids to get to perform in the final jam. So don't worry, the mean girls are all going to get kicked out by the end, and it's just going to be 5 kids who are all pretty reasonable. Unfortunately, the film has kind of already figured out who the lead is. It's, I don't know, her name's like Ruth Ruby Rose, something like that. It was some of our name, and she's her crutch is her crush is some Hutch or Dutch or Fudge, or I can't remember what his name was. Um, and those are kind of like the 2 main ones, and there are like 3 that kind of back them up. Eh, you know, considering this film goes for a kumbaya, we're all in this together type of ending, I didn't think it quite worked. I think you have to not have a lead, which is really hard for Disney to do because they have a lead in like everything. They always know who their leads are, and then it makes every other character feel supporting. And there's like a lead romantic relationship, because that's what every kid is thinking about is, oh my god, I am in love at my age. uh, I would argue here that possibly you have a lot of kids who are going to be younger watching this with their parents who maybe watched Camp Rock or who came back for the Jonas and Demi connection. Listen, if you were 10 when the first movie came out, now you're 28. Even if you reproduced immediately out of high school, you got yourself another 10-year-old. So likely you would have kids who are like 5, 6, 7, maybe the majority of the people, if they have kids at all. 28 is still, it's still not, I'm not roaringly confident that people at 28 necessarily have kids. So yeah, I I don't know, I don't know who this is for. So just invest in the idea that you don't need the nostalgia, that you don't need the people. I would have gone Camp Rock the New Generation, or Camp Rock Next Gen, or Camp Rock Alpha Gen. I don't know. Something, but it's kind of a weird mix. The songs are mostly okay. Uh, I like some more than others. Actually, the ones that are closer towards the end of the musical, I guess it's a musical, were a little bit better than the ones towards the beginning. But everybody's auto-tuned. And back in my day, here's a history lesson on auto-tune. So originally, I know kids, this is hard. You're like, but we thought you'd be the cool one because you have a lip ring. Well, surprise, you learned something here on my channel. You used to have to go into recording studios and everybody had to sing. They couldn't manufacture anybody. Everybody had to sing because everything was recorded on tape, like live. They didn't have computers, they didn't have digital, they didn't have pitch correction yet. Everything was recorded. And then later on, somebody figured out how to do pitch correction, how to slightly alter somebody's voice so that way if they did miss a note, they didn't need to re-record the entire thing, because it got quite expensive and very time consuming to do that sometimes, depending on the artist. Um, And then you move into the 90s and we want to start manufacturing stars. And so they kind of use it a little bit more. And it starts kind of sounding like it's that pop music sound, right? And then T-Pain comes along and decides to just hold down the button. And ever since then, people have been chasing that sound of the I want to sound like T-Pain. And now our kids in this, it's who knows if they sing. I have no idea. This entire cast could be tone deaf because they're all being used through autotune. So they're all being pitch corrected to be on the note and sound sort of like they're alien slash quasi robotic. So I don't want to bash their performances. That wasn't their choice. That was Disney's choice. I don't like to make fun of child performers, and I think this cast has is fine. I don't know that Disney supports them in the same way that they used to support their stars. It'll be interesting to see if anybody from this film breaks out. But this is the second major sequel Disney has released over the summer, following the Descendants Wicked Wonderland. Neither one of them have audio description. In between me doing this and also, uh, you know, going online and going through my various blind and audio description forums, I noticed somebody popped up immediately and was like, "Hey, I was really disappointed to see that Camp Rock 3 was going to sit down with the fam and watch Camp Rock 3 and then it didn't have audio description. What's up with this? Why didn't Disney provide audio description for Camp Rock 3?" And I was like, because they don't like us. Because we're not a demographic worth chasing to them anymore. This is what happens when you allow the conversation around diversity, equity, inclusivity to turn us into villains. Because then people just don't want to provide our accessibility anymore. They care less about it because our voices matter less. So when you start taking an assault on disability rights, it does actually trickle out elsewhere to where you start getting a reduced quality instead of racing to the top of the mountain of audio description and accessibility and trying to provide the best and most audio description you possibly can. They start racing to the bottom. So where they might have put audio description a few years ago, they've stopped. So there's no audio description on New Descendants. There's no description on Camp Rock 3. There was no description this past week on the X-Files, I Want to Believe director's cut. They've been producing more and more synthetic voice audio description. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire has synthetic on ABC. X-Men 97, they've let it bleed into Marvel products. That's synthetic voice. Deli Boys has synthetic voice. Got canceled, but it still has a synthetic narration. Both X-Men 97 and Deli Boys, I know for a fact, their previous seasons were narrated by humans. So this is an actual decision that Disney is making to really harm families across the spectrum, because we don't live on Blind Island. We live with other sighted people, family and friends. I have more sighted family and friends than I do blind family and friends. So, and they know when I'm not getting my accessibility met. And it's weird for them when I end up choosing to watch something that I know they wanted to watch and it doesn't have audio description. I think it just makes them uncomfortable. So in other households, if you've got mom, dad, a couple kids, one of the kids happens to be visually impaired, low vision, blind, and needs audio description, and they sit down and watch Camp Rock 3 as a fam, and it's not there, then they have to make a choice. They have to decide, and then that poor kid has to decide, well, do I want to complain about it and make this an awkward situation for my family, or am I just going to brush it off and just, die a little bit inside later on? And that's the situation that Disney creates every single time it decides to not do this for every single one of its programs, every single TV series it's put out that's aimed at kids, that's aimed at families. That's what it does all the time. The word family is not an individual one person, right? You do know that. And Disney is a family brand. You know what families are? Multiple people. So you pretty much always express yourself as a brand that encompasses everybody, like a group of people that will come and go to Disney World together, the fam, the whole thing. So it's not like an individual experience. It's not something that we quietly have like OnlyFans by ourselves in our room late at night. But no, it's not that. It's a communal experience for a family, a grouping of people, whatever that looks like. Mom and dad, maybe just a couple, maybe a couple and a bunch of kids. Maybe everybody's joined together. Maybe they're all going to Disney World. Maybe it's like brothers, aunts, uncles, grandpa, granddad. And it's like 20 people and they've made t-shirts, you know. But when you leave out one of their family members, they know it because they know what kind of accessibility their kids do. The problem is that these decisions are consistently made by people who do not need the accessibility and therefore do not understand it and can't for a minute think about why it is that we need the things that we need or why it is we're asking for the things that we're asking for. So if you cannot understand and do not use the accessibility that you are in charge of deciding on, how can you possibly be expected to know what it means when you take it away? And that's why I keep trying to tell you guys, from somebody who was sighted and is not, it's like walking around and watching all of these executives playing Russian roulette with a gun to their head 24/7 because you're playing with fire. Every time you raise accessibility to the bottom, you don't understand that disability is not something that if you just made it through birth, you're like, oh, good, I'm good. I'm not disabled. I don't have to worry about accessibility. I was born and I was born with everything that I need, fully functional, able-bodied human being. I'll be good for the rest of my life. Nothing bad could ever happen to me. I'm not possibly going to have a kid who might be disabled and need accessibility. So fuck it, I'm going to try to defund accessibility and race it to the bottom as quickly as humanly possible. Oh shit, my kid is disabled. You know, it's one of those things. Or you become disabled. You know, it's one of those things where if you continue to play with fire, fire will find you. So stop playing with it. Stop trying to do the very least that you possibly can for your blind and low vision audiences and actually show up for them. You know, I posted about this on X, which was sort of my, it's, if people would answer you on Threads, you know, I know people want to use Threads and Bluesky. No, they use X, guys. If you want to yell at a company, yell at them on X. And Hulu support came in with the, yes, Disney Plus and Hulu does provide audio description on select content. It's like, I fucking know they do. I'm an audio description advocate. I know. The question isn't, do you ever provide it? It's, why didn't you provide it on Camp Rock 3? Like, if I took the executives who made these decisions, right, as to which ones get it and which ones don't, and I took them, let's pretend they're rich. Rich people don't go to grocery stores, which is why we're in the situation we're in. We're in this situation because everybody keeps voting for rich people who don't know what grocery prices are. You couldn't ask them. They would have no idea what the average price of anything is in a grocery store because they don't buy groceries. If they do have fresh food at home, someone else buys their groceries and they just pay a credit card bill. So they have no idea what the incremental cost and sliding up of groceries is. But let's say that they did, and I took one of them into the grocery store and they saw all the food and they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. Look at all this food. It looks wonderful. Look at all the produce. It's all fresh and shiny. And I'm like, no, that's not yours. You're over here in the selected area, the area that I've selected for you. I have selected, that I've chosen. I don't know if this is what you want, but I've chosen this for you. And this is your area of the store. You can't shop in the other area. This is your area of the store. You can look at the other area. You can think about it, but this is your area of the store. This is what we've selected for you. Aren't we benevolent here at Grocery Store America USA? So, yeah, that's kind of what it's like when you say it's available on select. It's 2026. Audio description has been around for decades. We have generative AI that is hacking other generative AI. And you're telling me we haven't figured out how to put audio description on enough things that we can at least stop the flow of new content without audio description. Oh my God. So, no, I'm not very happy with Disney, but it's not, my grade for this film is not contingent purely upon the lack of audio description. My grade for this film has a lot to do with the fact that it doesn't feel like camp. It feels like a competition reality series. We've lost the camp experience, something that Disney used to be really good at. I remember Bug Juice. I fucking love Heavyweights. You know, these are things that are a part of my life, and Camp Rock doesn't feel like camp. You know, they spend so much time, pretty much at the beginning of the film, they're like, hey guys, who wants to open for Connect 3? We're going to find out the final jam. And I want to get to know these kids. I want to see them do other activities. I want to see them swing on a tire swing and jump into a lake. I want to see them ride horseback and learn how to do archery. I know it's a music camp, so I want to see them play acoustic guitar outside. I don't know. I don't know what I want from them, but make marshmallows and s'mores and like all these different things that camp actually offers people. The reason why you send your kids to camp. At this point, Camp Rock could literally just be in like a gymnasium somewhere. Like, why does it even need to be outdoors? Where'd you send your kids? Well, they set up a Camp Rock at the local middle school over the summer, so they're there for the day. So, um, yeah, the cast is fine. They're auto-tuned, but that's, you know, if you don't like auto-tune, I love the fact that people comment on these things and they say, it sounds auto-tuned, then stop listening to it. The thing is that they think that that's what you want. If you don't want auto-tune, then stop listening to artists who are. I know that that's going to be really hard for you because it's hard because you're like, but I like these artists. Yeah, and until you stop listening to them, until their album sales decline and people start looking around and seeing the commonality here is, oh shit, we're all using autotune. They actually want to hear our real voices. Then they're going to keep using it. So, same thing with Disney. They're just going to keep not providing audio description unless somebody stands up and goes, hey, not cool. So, this is my version of that. I'm giving Camp Rock 3 a 5.3 out of 10. Rotten. Sorry. And it's driven a lot by the fact that you want this kumbaya ending, but I don't think you earned it. I don't think you actually spent the time developing the characters. There's a clear lead here, and the fact that the film ends, that the final performance of Final Jam is them, and then the ending that we get is we're all in this together type stuff, I just didn't think it worked. I don't think that is where the film was headed. I don't think that the script supports that, at least from what I can tell with my lack of audio description. Thanks, Disney. And thanks for being here live for me, guys. So that's it. You're going to see my hand go up to the camera again because I'm going to have to turn off the live feed, but I appreciate you for watching this video.
On YouTube, new. Managing moderators can support your channel in introducing managing close button. Play a game button. Switch camera button. Microphone unmuted button. Effects button. Choose sticker button. Enable retouch button. Expand to up. Welcome to live chat. At Michelle Napoli W8H. Hello button.
Oh, somebody said hello.
At Michelle Napoli W8H. Said hi button.
Hi.
At Michelle Napoli W8H. What button?
What?
At Michelle Napoli W8H. Okay button.
Okay.
At Michelle Napoli W8H. Good button.
Good.
At Paddle U8B. Go turquoise white horns button. At Matthew Boyer G7N. I remember the Batman came out. Burger King was the biggest contender. Everything in Burger King was with Batman button. Chat options button. Play a game. Share button. Share but play a chat. At welcome. Expand. Enable. Choose stick effects. Microphone switch. Top fan. 0 what live. Finish button. Finish button.
Sorry to everybody in the live chat. I didn't actually think, I thought if I live chat this early that nobody would, but I love you guys for actually being here for this, and I appreciate you. I just want to get the review out, and my camera was picking up, so there you go.